So stock traders, I hope all of you finished off the week strong. I definitely did and had a really great day today. I'm hoping the best for you also. If you were following the top 7 and others, you should have finished with a 0.99% gain for the day. I finished with a 2.6% gain, and so I was extremely happy with that. Month to date, if you are following the top 7 and others very closely and you have equal amounts of money in all of them, you should be up 6.03% so far in the month of October. Comparing that to the Dow Jones Industrial, I mean, that is pretty good. The Dow Jones Industrial is up 2.78%, so that is much better. Year to date, I am at 529% return, so of course, extremely excited about that. Used a lot of different strategies and not only bought stocks, but options also, and it's been a great year so far. So my day trade picks, let's start to go through that for Friday. I make these at 5:30 in the morning Central Time. I came up with SNMP and MVIS, and then later on in the day, it was US, that was before the market opened, and MARPS later in the afternoon, which actually wasn't my pick, was actually a new standard members pick, and it was really great, so we were able to ride that for a nice gain. I was able to day trade for a 14% gain today, so that was a pretty good day. And I like to use Webull as a broker, and the reason why is because it has very powerful screeners and lots of great tools. It is a great broker, and if you are looking for a broker and you want free stocks, check it out in the description down below. You get one free stock when you sign up and another when you deposit money. So I have a couple sales to report. This is from the top 7 list, and one of these we've had for a long time, but it was just time to move on. So just like Safe bit the dust eventually, so did Vox. So today we'd had 4 business days without insider activity from Vox, and they have earnings coming up, and so it was time to move out of it. So I sold VOXX for a 4.1% gain. I also sold UEPS for a 0.3% gain, so a really small gain, but it's been a while since that's had insider activity either. And then also sold HGBL, and this one did not perform well. I sold it for a 4.7% loss. It had been more than 3 days since the insider activity again, and so those 3, it was time to sell. So let's start with the weekly review. So this is a review that I do every week that gets a win percentage on each and every strategy, and we're going to compare the PDUFA run-ups to the insiders. So those were the 2 strategies that I used most this week, and so let's cover those. So let's start off with the PDUFA run-ups. First one sold was FBIO, sold for a 7.1% gain. Sold SPPI during that panic for a 4% loss. Sold KALA for a 5% gain, and sold SAVA for a 2% loss. So a couple of these I sold early, and the reason being was when Trump put out that tweet and there was all that craziness, I had sold it anyway. 2 out of 4, 50% win rate, and the average pick gained 1.53%. Typically, PDUFA run-ups do a lot better, but I closed those down a lot earlier than I typically would have. And in fact, some of those you'll recognize on the upcoming list because I bought back into them, and then I put out a message to our Patreon members also. A lot of us have gotten back into it. Now let's cover the insiders. The first one was ODT, sold for a 6.6% gain. SAFE, Safehold, sold for a 21% gain. PSTI, sold for a 4.1% gain. VOXX, sold for a 35% gain. That was earlier in the week, and then bought it back. And then UEPS, sold for a 0.9% gain. AMZN, sold for a 4% loss, so Amazon sold during that craziness. The next is PRGS, Progressive Software, sold for a 1% gain. KMX, Carmex, sold for a 2% loss. UEPS sold for a 0.3% gain. PRGS again sold for a 1.1% gain. VOXX again for a 4.1% gain, and HGBL for a 4.7% loss. And so that was 9 wins out of 12 total picks for a 75% win rate. About average, a little bit above average actually, and a 5.28 average return per pick. So overall pretty good. Let's go ahead and cover the top 7 and others because we have so many great stocks to get to. All right, so the first one on the list is KALA. This finished down on Friday, 0.69%. My average in it is $8.34. Kala Pharmaceuticals, and they have a PDUFA date of October 30th, and it's for Elsuvis, which is a dry eye disease drug. Analysts have put an average target on this of $20.80. All right, the next is LEVI, L-E-V-I, Levi Strauss. On Friday, finished down 2.25%. My average in it is $15.52. And analyst upgrades galore. So there's been lots of analyst upgrades right after they had earnings. Most of those are right around $20 a share. And so I think that this one will move up, and their internet sales are way up. And so I think it's just a matter of time as we get into next week that this one gets up to or very close to 17, 18, 19. That's what I'm hoping for. We shall see how it goes. All right, the next that's not in the top 7 is MPLN. So on Friday, that finished down 0.20%. This is brand new to the list. And this actually used to be CCXX. And so this one changed over today. And I don't think you could trade it today. So it was kind of tricky that way. My average at it's $10.14. And if you woke up this morning and you had this stock, you were like, what? What's going on? Why isn't it there? Because a lot of brokers were showing zero amount for it as the name change went through. But Mark Klein and Churchill Spencer LLC bought a lot of shares in open market. So that's the reason why I was excited about this stock. It was definitely an insider swing play. And so this is the Multiplan Corporation now is the name for it. So it should be a really good stock going forward. All right, so the next one that's not on the top 7 list, and this is brand new to the list. This is an insider swing play, but this is 5 Prime Therapeutics, FPRX. On Friday, it finished up 5.08%. My average in it is $5.68. And Mark Lampert bought $1.7 million worth of shares in open market. And so it was very bullish. And so that's the reason why I liked it and put out the notification to our Patreon with our Discord attached. And a lot of us got into it. Now let's get to the top 7. So now we got the top 7 stocks. Number 7 is SELB. This is Selecta Biosciences. And on Friday, it finished up 4.68%. This is brand new to the list. My average in it's $1.97. So a lot of people really overpaid for this. And Aftermarket on Thursday put out a notification that was very bullish activity. And I just waited. I know there were people that got in on it and then it really shot up, but I just had my order in at $1.97. That's what I was willing to pay for it. And I waited and I waited and then bam, the order went through. And so it's really important with these insiders not to overpay and to get a good deal. And a lot of times there's a dip in the morning that you can pick up and it's a lot better time to pick it up. And sometimes it's not. Sometimes the best time to pick it up is an aftermarket and it will take off for the rest of the day. Most of the time you can get a really good deal in the morning. If you're willing to pay a certain percentage above, then you can get a good deal in aftermarket too. But it's important to get a good deal. But Timothy Springer and Timothy Berebe, I'm probably saying that wrong, bought about $4 million worth of shares in open market. And so that's the reason why I was impressed with Selecta Biosciences and thought it would be a good stock to get into. And I'm expecting great things out of it, already up in it, so it should continue that way. All right, number 6. Number 6 is Next Era Energy, NEE. On Friday, it finished up 0.62%, so not a lot, but it's been up every single day since we put it on the list. My average in it is $297.98. And they are doing a 4-to-1 stock split coming up, and that's on October 27th. And I do know that they do have earnings coming up. This company has a long history of doing well in earnings, so I'm feeling rather confident to hold through earnings. We shall see how it goes. All right, number 5 is IOVA. And on Friday, it finished up 6.02%. This one's brand new to the list, and my average in it is $30.55. So this is a follow the money play. And basically with the follow the money play, what I do is I take one of the major funds and I'll watch them go into a stock. And once a fund starts going into a stock, it can only do so much every day. And so a lot of times you'll see multiple buys. And so that props the price of the stock up, kind of like an insider does. And so that's kind of what I'm looking at with this. And so this is IOVA Therapeutics, and institutions are loading up big time on this stock. Today, you definitely saw that. There was definitely some more institutions loading throughout the day. That explains it being up 6.02%. Also a lot going for it. And so I feel like this is going to be a great stock next week to get into. All right, number 4 is TAK. Institutions are loading this also. This is Takeda Pharma. My average in it $17.50. And on Friday, it finished up 0.17%. They just got a partnership with Arrowhead. And so that should be a really good stock. I'm expecting great things this next week. And tonight there were more purchases reported by the ARK ETFs. And so I think that's going to be great. So we have this Patreon group, and it's filled with a lot of great investors and a lot of investors that are looking to help one another. It's iron sharpens iron within each group. Within the standard group, it is filled with a lot of fantastic intraday traders and people who know how to day trade. In the basic group is filled with a lot of people who know how to swing trade and know different strategies. If you're looking for advice, you can get good advice. Check it out in the description down below. We got a link down there in the description. All right, now let's get to the top 3. Here we go. Number 3 is LSPD. And on Friday, it finished up 4.29%. This is brand new to the list. My average in it is $36.57. This is light speed point of sale, and institutions are loading. And so this one, I'm expecting continued growth this next week, and we shall see, I think, very good returns out of it. All right, number 2 is Spectrum Pharma, SPPI. So this is a PDUFA run-up play. And on Friday, it finished up 1.12%. And this has just been up a little bit each and every day, but it's starting to pick up some momentum, that's for sure. My average in it's $4.12. They have a PDUFA date of October 24th. This is for Rolantis, which is a chemotherapy drug, and analysts have a very high target on this of $10.42. And so I think all the way to the run-up date that this stock is going to go up, and it should be very, very good. All right, number one is IPOB, and this thing is on fire. Today it finished up 13.10%, and it's up in aftermarket. And also ARK Holding reported buying even more shares on Friday evening, and so this one should continue upwards. It's got a long ways to go. As long as they're loading up, I'm definitely in it, and so looking for great things. My average in it's $18.24. Hopefully you were able to get into this too very early. I do a lot of work for this list, so if you could do me a huge favor and please hit that most amazing and wonderful like button. And then also, if you're seeing me for the first time, or you've seen these videos many times and you just never subscribed before, hit that subscribe button and turn on those bell notifications to get notified when one of these new videos comes out. My goal is that I help you to be a better trader and that you be successful in the stock market. Let's have a fantastic week next week. Hopefully we can get a little stimulus deal. Who knows? Maybe get some craziness going on and get it really bullish out there and make a ton of money. Raythoven out.